So this is an old Conn Bari that my friend Kelly had at his shop. We stole the bell to body ring off of it a long time ago because I was working on another Bari Sax, and I guess he's been stealing parts off of this ever since. So he had this in this shop, and the bell is over there, and he asked if I wanted it. So I said, sure, I'll take it. So he's stolen all the table keys and some posts, and I think the brace is gone, I'm not sure. And so I'm going to have to rebuild a lot of this anyway. So I figured with the bell, of course the keys are on opposite sides, so I cut it, and I'm going to put the keys on the same side so they can have a more modern keywork to them. And I'm going to make the ring out of flat brass, and I'm going to bend it or roll it with this roller that I just built a couple of days ago. It should work just fine. So hopefully I'll take a video of that. You can see how that works too. Some of the modifications I'm going to do to the stack keys on the Bari Sax is I've got rid of the low E flat, which is this key here, but we still need the pearl. So what I'm going to do is with this E, I'm just going to replace this hinge tubing so it extends all the way, and I'll unsolder this and put that on the hinge tubing. I might even solder it here as well, right on this tab. So that's the lower stack modification I'm going to do. Also, if I'll just turn the camera a little bit, this is the G sharp, which used to be hinged this way. I've removed this post, and I am actually going to incorporate the G sharp onto this stack. I should also mention on the lower stack, this adjustment bar that comes up underneath these pads in the front. I'm going to reverse that so it swings down behind and it catches the tails of the keys, and I'll put adjustment screws on this bar. Again, like a Yamaha saxophone, be much easier to adjust. I'll probably do that with the upper stack as well. The C has the bar going under the B and the bis. I'm going to change it, swing the bar around to the back side, and use tails and use adjustment screws. So looking at the upper stack here, the G sharp is going to be incorporated onto this shaft here with the bis. I'm going to replace this post with a shaft hole plus a pivot screw for the G. I'm going to take the G off of this mechanism because this hinged in two places. I don't like that. Anytime you can avoid binding, I'm just going to make this pivot screw kind of like you would see on a Yamaha tenor sax. So I'll put a post here to terminate at the A. There'll be an empty space in here, and then this little shaft here will be for the bis and the G sharp. Okay, so the stack key that I have to change on the lower stack is the E. It never used to have its own spatula, so I've made a new hinge tubing, and I've unsoldered all the E key parts, and this is from the split E key that I took off, And so I've loosely assembled them all together. I put them on the sax and make sure that they were registered the same as the F. And the pearl, I could not get out. The pearl is in there really good. So my way of protecting it is to just keep it doused in water. And hopefully I'm not going to melt my pill bottle when I silver solder these keys together. So we'll see how it goes. The E key is now finished. Turned out really good. I like the spacing of the pearls. It's going to be really good. Next thing to do is the F sharp. Have to rotate that adjustment bar around to the back, and I'll drill holes in them for adjustment screws, and I'll also file flat surfaces on the tails of the F and the E for that adjustment bar. This is the adjustment bar that attaches to the F sharp key. It's the bar that the F and the E push against to make the F sharp go down. And I've made my own drill attachment for my lathe so that I can drill right through the center of this bar. I need to make 2 holes, one for the F, one for the E. And I've got my lathe switched off so it can't accidentally be turned on because I've got the key in the chuck so that the chuck won't rotate. So I keep the holes on the same plane. So I'm going to drill these holes now and hopefully everything will go right. The original adjustment bar for the F sharp didn't have a very big throw. I mean, just that distance there. So if I was going to put that on there, a slight screw turn would really affect the adjustment. So what I'm going to do is I've got my new adjustment bar that I've made, and I'm probably going to bring it way down here. So we're going to have a bit more of a throw, so I'll have to make new tabs for that, but that should work out just fine. You'll get finer adjustments that way. Okay, so I've made all the pieces for the F sharp, including the adjustment bar. These tabs I just made out of raw brass, and now I'm just making sure that the rotation of this bar is correct so that it hits the tails of those keys square on, and that looks pretty darn good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and solder these two, and then we'll put the key back on with the F sharp key, and we'll get this all trued up. It's flexed up really good. So I noticed on this Conn Bari that there is no post between the F and the F sharp, and I don't like that. So before I go and solder the rest of my F sharp key together, I thought I'd take the G sharp post that I had taken off. I don't need that there anymore. And I'm just going to put that post in between these two keys just to add a lot more stability. It'll hold the adjustment easier. This won't sway, you know, when you press down the F and the F sharp if they're fighting each other. Anyway, that extra post is just going to keep everything a lot more stable. All right, so the lower stack key modification is finished. Just to recap, if you remember or recall, the adjustment bar came under the front of these keys really close to the shaft, and I don't like that system at all. So I rebuilt this F sharp key and made an articulation bar coming out the back and further away from the shaft, so there's a finer adjustment, if you will. I had to shorten the F key to make room for the post that I put in between the F sharp and the F. There was no post here originally, and I thought that was a bad design. I also shortened the D to make room for the other part of the F sharp. It used to be on this side of the post, but I modified this E key and left this as long as I could, so I had a lot of room to put the rest of the F sharp key on this side of the post because the D key is still pretty long. So that is it for the lower stack keys. Now we can start working on the upper stack.